Okay, so what I'm going to share with you today, and I did go through this with my team. So Joni, you're going to hear some of it again. So maybe you can share anything that's happened to you if you implemented what we're going to talk about. But it's about finishing Diamond Club strong because you guys are in the home stretch, but then what is beyond Diamond Club? You want the momentum to continue. And that is one of the things about Diamond Club that's so amazing. I think if you're doing Diamond Club for the first time, if you're watching this recording and it's your first time that you've done Diamond Club, sometimes you're wondering, is it working? Because you've been putting all this work in for a couple months and you might not be seeing the results of that work yet. And Diamond Club is something that builds on itself. We have seen it time over time. You typically see the results of Diamond Club starting to come together. When it was 4 months, you would see those results kind of starting to come together month 4, because it's like your team finally starts to get on track with what's happening. They're in that momentum of massive action. They're having more classes, they're contacting more people. So it can feel like maybe your wheels are spinning right now and you're not getting traction yet, but you are creating that momentum. And so that's what I wanted to share with you, is to not worry about this time that you're spending in Diamond Club, and to know that what you're doing is setting yourself up for activity for the next 6 months. And that you're also really kind of finding on your team who's in it and who's not. And that's one of the benefits that we've seen too. You really take about 8 months to a year of doTERRA work and kind of smash it into 3 months, and you're seeing who's in it. You're creating, showing your team what the income producing activities are inside of our business, because we can get sidetracked with so many different things and think we're building our business, but we aren't actually doing our business. It's busy work. And most of the time, it's things that are easy to do, so we can avoid doing the big scary things, which is what we're going to talk about today, which is what actually grows your business in talking to people, because that is how we grow our doTERRA business. Okay, so we have BOGOs happening this week. I know that's why everybody's in BOGO land today, and they're probably going to catch this recording later, but I hope they do catch it by today or tomorrow, because what you're going to be doing is going to help with your BOGO sales, because it's going to help people see the content, that good content that you're putting out on social media. With the algorithms of today, a lot of stuff gets missed, especially if you're posting similar graphics to what other people are putting out. The algorithms intentionally shut those down because they don't want everybody's feed to be filled with the same thing. So it's really important, if you're putting stuff out, that it's unique. Take your own pictures with the oils. Have pictures of you putting the oils on people, putting the vanilla in your iced coffee, showing people how you use them in your day-to-day, because that's not an image that Instagram or Facebook has seen 20 times. This is something that's new, and you have a better chance of your audience seeing it. So as we push through this week, and we have BOGOs over the weekend, which is great, so we do have time, it's going to make a difference as we're reaching out to people so they can see your content. And the really nice part about the way Thanksgiving falls this year, you guys, because next week, we're going to lose people to the land of turkey for a good 3 to 4 days. It's what happens. And it's okay. But typically, we're trying to wrap up our month around that same time, and that can be really hard. Like, normally Thanksgiving falls on like the 26th, 27th, 28th, and we're like trying to close conversations and finish up with people, and they're checked out having a good time. This year it falls early. So you have almost a whole week. You have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of the following week when life starts up again to wrap up your month, which is fantastic. So we have BOGOs going on for the next, over this weekend. Then you have Thanksgiving. Then you have 4 days after that you can be closing up your month, so you can finish Diamond Club strong. So look through your organizations, see where you're short on volume. That's where you're going to be wanting to run your BOGOs. Make sure that your team knows. I see this so often still, even from people who've been doing doTERRA for a long time. They run BOGOs on their own account. They don't need to be running $200 worth of BOGOs on their own account after they've already ran their LRP. So please, reach out to your qualifiers and their qualifiers. Make sure everybody knows that if they've already ran their order this month, which they probably have, getting holiday items or getting their advantage, do not run BOGOs on your own account. Run them in spots for Power of Three. Help people get their 250 or their 50 for the first time, or help somebody get their 1500 for the first time. It makes a big difference. And you guys can be funneling those orders into spots that you need for rank, because we know rank advancements in Diamond Club, they bring a lot of points. So take some time and figure out where those orders need to be run. That way you're not looking later and seeing, oh my gosh, somebody ran 300 PV on their own account and that didn't help with rank or Power of Three or anything. If we would have put that somewhere else, it could have made a big difference. We see it happen, and it's such a bummer. And it's like such an easy thing to fix if we pay attention and we catch it before it happens. So I figured about this time, and you guys can let me know, you are probably starting to dig deep for contacts. Do you feel like you've kind of talked to your people and you're wondering how to talk to more people? Are any of you feeling that way? So at this point, you've been doing Diamond Club for 2.5 months, and you may have even started reaching out to people in August. And so sometimes the first thing that we're going to talk about is how to follow up after you've had a long pause with somebody. Because I know for a lot of people, as right now, especially now in these next couple of weeks, you're hopefully tracking all the contacts that you've made through Diamond Club on some kind of sheet. So these are people that you've sampled or have come to a class or a Zoom, that you have maybe signed up but aren't on LRP yet. So hopefully you're kind of tracking all of those names and numbers. If you've got people that you talked to, or that maybe they came to a class back in September and then we had convention and then you haven't talked to them in a while and now it's, November and you're like, ooh, I want to reach out, and they never got started. And I remember they had really bad headaches, but I feel weird reaching out to them. How do you reach out and make contact after it's been a while? The easiest thing is just to acknowledge that it's been a while, and you can send them a text, or if you're friends on social media, you can send them a message and just say, hey, I know it's been a while. Since we talked, how are you doing? And start a conversation like a normal person and check in with them and see how they're doing. And then you can say something like, I met you at Sherry's class, and I remember that you talked about getting restful sleep was something that you struggled with. And I wanted to see how that's going for you. And they can answer, like, have they found a solution for that? Have they not? Is it something that's still bothering them? We've got the holidays coming up, so that creates a lot of opportunity for conversation. So you can say something like, I want to check in. I know with the holidays coming and travel and family, it would be nice to get some good restful sleep while we've got this time off of work. So I wanted to see if you were interested in trying out what we had talked about. And so look at all the people that have come to events that you've had in September and October that haven't closed yet. And this is the time that you can reach out to them and just say, hey, I know it's been a while. We were at convention and I got super busy and I'm sorry I didn't message you back. Whatever it is, don't feel bad that there's been a gap of time. Just acknowledge it and move forward, because chances are if they haven't signed up already and got product, they don't have a solution to the problem that they came for originally. And now's the time to do it, especially with, a lot of people have a lot of activities that are happening over the next month and a half, and they want to feel good for it. They don't want to be tired. They don't want to be in pain. They want to be sleeping. They don't want to have headaches. They don't want to have digestive issues going over to people's houses and eating all this food. They want to have a way to fix these problems and feel good and be out and about doing the things that they want to do with family, because there was so long that we couldn't do those things. So people really appreciate being able to get together, but they want to feel good while they're doing it. So that is for people who you've talked to but haven't signed up yet. You can also do this with those who did get started with you and your team. So this is something that you can talk to your leaders about, is for the ones who did get started with some kind of oil set. Maybe they're not on LRP yet. Maybe they are on LRP. Doesn't matter. Reach out to them and check in with them and see what they don't have a solution for yet. Because typically we know that when people get started, they have a list of maybe 4 or 5 different things that are going on in their life. And with budget, they can only get started with something for 1 to 2, maybe 3 of those things. And that's kind of all they can budget for in that initial purchase that they make. So now reaching out to them and saying, hey, how's it going with the stuff you got for this? I remember you also talked about this and this being an issue. Were you interested in getting stuff for that? Because, oh my gosh, right now we're having BOGOs. And so you can actually get something for your stress, these amazing adaptive capsules that you haven't gotten yet, and get something for free, which is good for this. So look back through those who have purchased and be reaching out to them, and your team reaching out to them. Because if everybody's doing this together, you're going to reach a lot of people. And the good thing about that too is we know that LRP points for Diamond Club, they count for a lot. So these aren't points that you want to miss. Plus, this is also the pipeline of our business. So if we spend time in these activities, and I know these are the scary activities, it's so much easier to throw a post up and cross your fingers and hope that people will magically enroll. But it's these activities that are the ones that actually build our business and create that residual component of our business when they're on LRP, when they have found solutions for things that they are now going to never want to live without. And then the last group that we're going to talk about, this is the group of new people. This consists of people that you haven't talked to about doTERRA before. You probably haven't talked to about anything in quite a while, but they are in your phone, or they are one of your Facebook friends, or they are an Instagram friend. And what you're going to do, this is going to be your homework from this call. And Diamond Club has offered, they're going to sponsor a gift for this, which is going to be cool. And the challenge is to make contact with 25 people that you haven't talked to about doTERRA before. And in this contact, you are not going to talk to them about doTERRA. You are just going to make connection with them, because the more conversations we have going, the more our business grows. If we're not having conversations with new people, our business is not growing. It is sustaining at best. So think about that. If you're always talking to the same people, then it's not growing. We have to be talking to new people in order for our business to grow. How do we talk to people? We've got to have conversations. We can't just put posts up and expect miracles to happen. We have to do the work of actually having conversations. And nowadays, that's really quite easy. And it's not that scary. You don't really have to put yourself out there. You literally just shoot somebody a message on Instagram or Facebook, or text them if that's how you communicate with them. But what you're going to do in these little initial messages is just say hi and see how it's going and connect with them again. As I mentioned, we're not going to talk about doTERRA. You're just going to see what's been going on in their life. And I know this may feel odd, but there's another good thing about this time of year. And that is, at this time of year, people are getting into gratitude mode, and connection is growing in the world. During this time, people are coming together. They're thinking of family. They're thinking of friends. They're thinking of people they're grateful for, and they know they've got some time off work, so they're in a little better mood than they normally are. So this is normal to make connections with people, even if it feels foreign. So that's going to be what you're doing. You're going to be looking through your phones, your Instagram friends, your Facebook friends, and think about people you knew in middle school, or your old hairdresser, or your kid's soccer coach, or somebody. I just had somebody pop up in my feed, and I was like, where do I know them from? And it was from like an old networking group years ago. These are the type of people that you want to reach out to and say hi. And the easy part of these conversations too, that has been supplied for us, which is pretty funny, is I don't know if have you guys heard about revenge travel? It's a phenomenon that's happening in the world right now. And what it is after COVID and being ordered to stay home, people are mad. And they were thinking about all the places that they never got to visit. And so people are traveling like never before. So this is so easy to say, hey, Kristen, you popped up in my feed. I saw you were just in Italy. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I've always wanted to go. How was it? Like, you can look through, I promise you, you can look through your Facebook or Instagram feed and find people traveling all over, cruises. Everybody's going to the Mediterranean and to Europe and Mexico and Hawaii. People are moving right now. They are going everywhere because they don't want to miss out on travel again. That is such an easy and not awkward and not weird conversation to have. People post their pictures out there because they want people to know that they went somewhere. So strike up a conversation. How was it? What were your favorite places? I just had a group of my friends travel over there, and I'm like, I've always wanted to go to Italy. Like, tell me your favorite spots, because I am going to write them down. And if we get a chance to go, I want to know where to go and, where you can skip because it's super touristy. So those are the kind of conversations you can have with these ones. The other thing that's happening a lot right now are weddings, because for 2 years, people couldn't get married. So there's weddings all over the place. So when you see pictures of people's kids getting married or they're getting married, message them and ask them about it. These are the conversations that you can strike up with people, and think about it like a ping pong game. You want to type a little message and let them message you back, and then write a little bit more and let them message you back. You don't want to write your life story in a thing. They don't want to read it, especially not in the beginning. It's too much. It's kind of weird. So just ask little questions about things and start creating a relationship again. After that, you can send a funny meme, because there are thousands of funny memes out there, right? So if you know this person from high school or elementary school or whatever, they're your hairdresser, send them a funny hair TikTok and let them know you were thinking about them. The reason for this, and the reason it's so important right now, is because I don't know if you guys know how algorithms work on these lovely social media platforms. Most of the time, they're a huge pain in the butt. But one of the things they do really well is when you start a new conversation with someone. So the first time, you follow someone for a few days, and when you start a new conversation with someone for a few days, the platform goes, oh, you guys are connected, and you're talking back and forth. So they're going to show your stuff in their feed because it feels like what you're doing is going to be important to them. So you have a few day window, maybe a week after you friend somebody and after you start a new conversation with them, where the platform is going to be showing them your stuff more than other people's stuff. And the reason that's so timely right now is because what are you posting about right now that you don't even have to message them about? They're going to see your BOGO posts. They're going to see you talking about these oils and these products. And that's why, again, I would encourage you not to be doing stock photos that everybody else is putting up, but tell a little experience and have your own real picture of real life, how you're using this stuff, because you're going to be messaging them here and there on the side, but you're also going to be showing up in their feed. So if you're talking about sleep and you're talking about digestion, you're talking about pain, you're talking about stress, and they could be like, hey, Joan, I saw you talking about, something for sleep. I don't sleep. Tell me what you're doing. So it's a cool little way that they're going to see what you're doing without you telling them what you're doing. So that's why it's perfect timing to be doing this right now. Okay. And before and after pictures are really good. So those are really powerful. So if you have before and after pictures of something with lavender or that you want to share, those work really well too. So again, I just want to remind you that Diamond Club is going to be doing a giveaway. So if you do these 25 reach outs to new people, there's going to be a post going up in the Diamond Club group. And all you have to do is comment on there when you've done your 25. And if you want to make it more fun and more real, you can actually comment with your ratio. So you can do 25 / however many people responded. So if you reached out to 25 people and 13 responded, it would be 25 / 13. If you reached out to 25 people and 20 responded, 25 / 20. But that will help us see what everybody's doing. How much responses are you getting? And the thing to remember is, whether it's 5, 13, or 25 people that respond to you, that's that many conversations that you're now having this week that you weren't having last week, and that you wouldn't be having right now if you hadn't done this. And because our business is built off of these conversations, the other thing that I want you to think about is it's not always going to be this person that you're talking to that opens up the doorway for somebody that you really, really want to work with, or that is going to, make a big difference in your business. But these people know people. So all of these relationships matter. All of these contacts matter, because as they learn to like and trust you and connect with you again, you have a chance to be introduced to their circle of their friends that know, like, and trust them. And now this has opened up an entire new network for you. So this is a long game. This isn't something where you're even hoping to sell them BOGOs, but you just want to be connecting with people, growing your network, adding people to a list of people that you're communicating with on like a weekly basis and keeping them in your feed. Because if it's not right now, if they don't have a need right now, you never know when something's going to be coming up. And they are going to be around friends and family the next month like no other time of the year. So you also don't know. I mean, this happens. I don't, if this has happened to you, it happens to me. Like maybe it's not them that has a need. And sometimes it's easier if it's not them. But I'll get a message from them and they'll say something like, oh my gosh, I saw my sister-in-law at Thanksgiving and she's, doing terrible. She's like, got this and this. Do you have something for that? And it's easier for them to like, find a solution for their friend in the beginning initially. But that opens up a whole new group of people that you can be talking to and that you can be helping. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys. Do you have any questions around that? And then we can get back to BOGOs. Okay. Yeah, it's so
Hey,
quiet.
I have a question.
Okay.
Sorry. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yep.
Oh, hey, Tyler. So in the beginning of the call, you were talking about like if you were gonna hit those power of 3 and kind of like help your team out, how do you facilitate that?
So I look at the graphic tree, and that's how I know a lot of people do detailed genealogy. Graphic tree is easier for my brain. So I have the graphic tree and I know there's sheets on it. And I know there's even a power of 3 calculator in the back office. I'm a pen and paper person. So I literally draw it out and I see where the gaps are, because we know that it's not just the 300 PV orders, it's also the 600 OV that you have to be paying attention to. So just map it all out, make sure that the leader of that area knows as well. And so as you're collecting orders or running orders or enrolling people, you know where those spots are ahead of time.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's super helpful. I need to put that into better practice.
Yeah.
And then I have one more question, if you don't mind. Okay, I ran into this yesterday. Like obviously BOGOs, came out and everything. And I want to tell everyone on my team, including like my builders, just so we can kind of all get on the same page. But how do you communicate that when you get that news? How do you like trickle that down to everybody?
So we have a team Facebook group. So I'll put a message in there. Again, Facebook algorithms are kind of crappy. So I don't use the at everyone function too much in the group because I know that's annoying. But for big stuff like that, you can, because you have to make sure they see it. And Facebook buries so much stuff. Honestly, like I'll put up a post and then somebody will ask me a question and I'll go to find it to tag them in it. And I can't even find my own post. So I know people aren't seeing stuff, which is so annoying, but it is what it is. So with a big post like that, that's really important, do an at everyone tag. And then I also have a messenger group on Facebook for a certain rank and above. Mine's premier and above. You could do whatever rank and above you want, but that has a little bit better chance of them seeing it because it's in messenger. So it's more of a direct message. So I'll hit both groups. And then I also have a texting platform. I use Project Broadcast. I mean, there's Shout, there's whatever one you want, but that's how I send it out to my customers. And that takes a little bit of time to set up. There is a learning curve with that, but once it's set up, then when you have to send a blast out, it's literally like a minute and you can have it going out to all your customer base. So that's how I kind of try to cover all the bases. The Facebook group is all the builders. The messenger group is premier and above. That's how I did it. And then the project broadcast is all my customers.
Thank you for sharing and thank you for doing the call tonight.
Oh, you're welcome.